I made this building in 3D and I just wanted to show you guys how I did it. That's it. This is not a tutorial. But I hope you find something useful. Let's get to it. So I started off by collecting references, mostly from Pinterest, but also from diorama videos in YouTube like DocuBuild and other different amazing creators. After all the searching and scrolling, this is the reference or mood board I ended up creating. It has the theme, the main reference, the cardboard grungy feel for the entire scene, lighting for the building, core idea, and a rough sketch. This tiny initial sketch was almost the same till the end, with some upgrades, like these window shapes. I don't know what the random stack is. I had this idea of adding a telephone initially, and this one is for the signboards beside the building. Now I'm starting to block out the building with cubes, because that's the basic shape of the building if you dissect it. I'll try to follow the sketch as much as possible, because it's always good and easy to follow the plan or reference rather than just freestyling. After the initial blockout, I did a simple sketch on top of it to get an idea of where I'm heading. More details according to the sketch is the direction now. First the windows using the cylinder and boolean modifiers. Don't worry, I'll clean up the mesh later. Kind of. And of course, extruding from here. I mean, more than 60% of modeling is just extruding for me. There's more to it, but extruding is a big part of it. Setting up the bars on top with the basic shapes. Now the shutter, at first didn't have enough loops, so I added more and gave subdivision modifiers and kept the level at 2. Now that the main building is done, this was the plan for more props or attachments to be added to build up character. Adding the signboards, which will be connected to the buildings. Each of these boards will have contradicting information on it, which I will walk you through in a bit. Even though I didn't intend for the sides to be in the final render, it just felt empty without windows, so I decided to add them. Also added a few more details before the next step. Next step is to give different materials and colors to identify them, which I'll use in Substance for texturing, and I'll let you know why when we get there. Like I said, I did clean it up, kind of. The important thing is to not have any ungons. For this project, I didn't put my time into UV and just used Smart UV project in Blender, but I recommend you guys to take some time and try UV layouting. It will be useful in future. Finally, my favorite part of the process, texturing. This is where the art element of the project comes in, and I use Substance Painter for this. And these are the different materials that I was talking about in Blender. Each has different UV layouts, so I can give different textures for different materials. Basically, more control on different objects. Now the first step is to bake the mesh maps and start by giving a base layer, typically a simple texture or even a solid color. After that, it's all about adding more layers with different textures on it. Just like real life. Think of it as the dust that settles on the wall or the rust on metal and so on. If you're new to Substance Painter, think of it as any layer-based software like Photoshop. I call it Photoshop for 3D. It is more than that, but that's the way to simply put it. It has masks, brushes, alphas, and everything. After cleaning up a bit, I use the parameters in the properties to tweak and play around to get the desired effect. So I use this crack brush to give a little bit of cracks here and there in the glass. Sometimes it doesn't have to be correct in 3D, it just have to be convincing and should feel right. So we can bring alphas from outside. White is 1, black is 0. Using that, we can create different symbols, texts, and much more. This is where the idea for the project started. Muji was founded in Japan in the 80s. At the time, there were two extremes, a rising popularity of foreign luxury brands or low quality, low price goods. Muji was the balance. It created good, humble, needed products for reasonable price. Right below that is a fictional soft drink called Peat that I created for this project. This represents our commitment to consumerism and sometimes how we tend to extend our purchases to wants rather than needs. In my mind, this building is an old life which is carrying its core value, and the core value being the balance of want and need in the realm of consumerism. These posters are the cry of people around the place, a fight with symbols and art, which constantly happens in our own life and even in our minds because of our exposure to different ideas. This is a fun but brilliant poster I came across. I just wanted to recreate it. So this is almost the final product. The outer AC unit and electric boxes are an afterthought, which was created using the same process, exporting all the textures that was created. Added some plans here and there to show that the balance I was talking about is just sustainability and finding a way to live peacefully. Because plans have taught me that life will always find a way. Now all we have to do is bring in the textures we exported from Substance and map it here in Blender. I had an uncle who was a very nifty guy. He'll do a great job in organizing wires using lengthy plastic cubes. I was always amazed by how simple and effective it was. So me laying pipe here is kind of an homage to the guy. This line right here is from a book called Anthem by Ayn Rand. Again, an afterthought, but a good one. So I finally added some lights, tweaked it a little bit. Gave the world a color. Created a simple ground with a simple texture. and for the beauty shots. Thank you for making it through. This is the title for the project. I have other renders in my Instagram too. You can check all my other works there. Links are in the description for the resources I got, like the images, mega scans, music, etc. And hopefully see you soon. Bye.